What do you say, guys? Welcome back. Like everybody else, I guess, in the country, we've had some terrible, nasty weather. You're probably going to hear it on this video. The wind's blowing pretty bad. You can hear it whipping the plastic around the curtains. I guess it's a good day to have a greenhouse to work in. The sun's out and it's pretty warm in here. We're having to run very little heat to get the temperature up in here to be able to work. So I thought it might be a good time to work on these Bloommaster hanging baskets. We do about anywhere from 130 to 150 of these Bloommaster baskets in the spring. And quite a little process getting them ready to plant. As you can see, they've got holes in the sides of them here. So we plant around 12 plants in each one of these baskets, in the top and in the sides. But the first thing that we have to do is, these all come with a chain kit, and we have to put these chain kits on them to be able to hang them up. So that's job number one for every greenhouse season. After we get everything cleaned up and ready to roll, we put these chain kits on here. And I'll show you how I go about doing that. It's really no big deal. They come with a little U-bolt and a chain and a couple of nuts, but it is kind of time consuming for one guy. You know, it'll take several hours to do 130 of them or so. So I like to get a head start on that, get that done before the plants get here, before we start mixing dirt. So we like to get all that kind of stuff out of the way. So Hannah and I, my oldest daughter, we thought yesterday it might be a pretty good day to get out and patch a little bit of fence today. We had to turn some cattle out that I had pinned up across the road, and it's just absolutely too cold to have them pinned up. They need to be out where they can find a place to get in out of the wind. And I put a new bull in with them here about probably 3 weeks ago, and he seemed like he was a pretty calm bull. And we put him in there with those heifers. Don't you know, he took off, went across that hollow and over the next ridge and found a hole in the barbed wire, and next time we saw him, he was about 1.5 miles up the road. If any of you guys watch J0's channel, as I was running that bull around the hillside, old Big John said I had my camera with me and filmed that. He was ready to help, but we had plenty of help at that time. And from my experience, when you're chasing cattle, there's things said in that process, it's better off not on camera. So that I didn't do any filming on that, but it didn't turn out so bad. I just used my drill and a little socket there to tighten these up. So we got the bull back in, up the road. He kind of was heading for home, I think, so he was heading back up the hollow. And he went up the road, so we caught him and put him back in the pen from whence he came. And it turned out okay, but we left him up there however long, 2 or 3 weeks, and finally was able to catch everybody in their pens. And I thought, well, I'll put him in a pen with these heifers across the creek. This next time, lock them up, let them kind of get used to that. Let him find out where home's at and where the feed's at, and find out how pretty them heifers are. So that's what we did. We got him pinned up. He's been in there since last Saturday. I was intended to leave him in there a week, but you know, I went up there this morning and this terrible cold wind and snow blowing, and their little water was froze over solid, and I thought, you know what, I might as well just turn them out, let them have a place to go try to get out of the wind. So that's what I did. So, but Hannah and I fully intended to go around that fence before I did that. And I come in, after I got done feeding this morning, I come in and told her surely there'd be a better day than this. So hopefully the bull will stay at home. You know, while I was doing this, I thought of a awful funny story that I wanted to tell. Thought I'd tell you guys. It's about a couple of neighbors that we had. One of them has passed away. The other one still lives there. Up on the hill behind my mom and dad's house, there was an old fox hunter that lived up there on the hill. And all my life he just lived in a little old tiny ramshackle house that didn't amount to anything, but he loved fox hunt. But he was up there one day, and the next neighbor on past there, up the top of the hill, he said he heard somebody screaming for help, and he couldn't figure out what in the world. It sounded like Hoy there down over the hill. Jumped in his truck, you know, and got down there just as quick as he could. Thought he better get down there and check on poor old Hoy. Said he might really have a real problem. Help! You know, help! Somebody help! I need help! So he ran down there right quick, got out of that truck, slung that door open, you know, and run over through there, and sure enough, there's old Hoy standing over there. He said, Hoy, he said, what in the world's the matter? He said, I heard you screaming for help. He said, is there something the matter? Hoy said, yeah. He said, I need somebody to hold the other end of this board while I cut it. I would imagine that just about caused that feller to lose it. He said he was pretty upset about it. Needs help holding the board. Well, he did need help, so I guess he meant it. I wanted to share that one with you guys. I'm just out here, you know, you get to working at a job like this for hours on end, and you go to thinking of everything. So I wanted to pass that one along to you. Looks like we're going to be even colder tonight than we were last night. Down around 0 with a below 0 wind chill. I know a lot of you guys out there are a whole lot worse off than I am. Luckily, we don't have any plants in the greenhouse yet. Our first shipment of plugs and the ferns, hopefully next week, about Monday and Tuesday probably. Looks like the weather's going to be fit for hauling plants, so that's probably what we're going to be doing. I've just kind of finished up a little bit of things around here this morning, trying to get cleaned up and repaired, and just about got that licked, so we're in pretty good shape. There was one thing I wanted to mention. You know, I went over to feed the cattle there across the creek this morning, and for the first time, the little calf was down there with Shelby, and she was in great shape. Shelby's got 4 good quarters, milking out all 4 teats, and the calf's sucking good. And it was actually running around there playing in this terrible cold weather. Didn't seem to bother her a bit. You know, as long as these calves get their bellies full, get dried off, man, they're good to go. They're tough little creatures, and they're built for it. Born with long hair in the winter's always amazed me how that nature knows. But yeah, it was just fine this morning. I actually worried about a little bit there last night, the way this wind was blowing. It's cold, but I should have known better. They're tough. But I reckon I had better quit running my mouth and get the rest of these baskets done. Probably won't get them done today, but there's no pressure. I got several days left. We wouldn't have been mixing dirt today anyway, so. Alright guys, thank you all for watching. I'll catch up with you on the next video.